Oh, yeah. Hello, my friends. Happy 5 o'clock on a Monday. I am finally starting my album series today, and we're going to talk about the songs, and we're going to talk a little bit about how I kind of approached writing them, and what my intention was with the song. So we're going to start with song one. Song one is Let's Talk About Love. Now, Let's Talk About Love it actually was born from a midnight musing. I was sleeping and I woke up and I had just this melody in my head, and now I have it actually in my audio files, in my audio clips, but it's very sleepy, going like so it was literally like very sleepy singing like that, and I had this. It was just stuck in my head, and I woke up the next day being like, oh, I have to write that. So what I wanted is I really wanted it to be very simple production. I wanted it to be really airy and kind of not super full, so that you could really feel the voice and the syncopation of the moving passages or moving phrases. So what I did is first, you gotta figure out the key, especially when you're like sleeping, essentially, and figuring out what we're trying to do. I reduced it a bit and I put it into B flat because I felt like that was a really great key to go with. I've also been kind of loving B flat. I don't know. Typically in pop music, I find a lot of songs to be written in like an F sharp or like a C sharp, and I think it's just because it's a really it's like right in the middle of the range. It's pretty comfy for most people to sing, but I wanted to go B flat, so we're there. Yeah, and then I knew I needed like a really, really heavy hitting bass line and something very simple, so that's why it was just right, and it went then super, super, super simple. So what I did after that is obviously we added the vocal to it just to make sure it worked. So we went, let's talk about love, love, love. So that's how that was born. Very simple. And then of course just snaps and claps with it, right? So if we try and put that kind of together, even just right like that, it's pretty groovy. So it just goes, love, oh, I can't even do it, love, 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 let's talk about love, love, love. So that's how that was created. Now, when we're talking about the lyrics, so love was kind of literally the easiest thing to put in that melodic phrase, that vocal phrase. So love, that was literally the first thing that came to mind was love. And I knew I needed to bridge the gap with that phrase. So let's talk about, and the reason why I needed to add this let's talk about is I had a relationship that was kind of pretty good for the most part, and it was a little controlling, a little manipulative, but what had happened is this individual kind of like left me. He ghosted me, and that was it. And there were like promises of never doing that, and after like a, 2-year relationship, it was kind of, it was uncouth. It was totally cruel. And so what I felt is instead of, talking about like my anguish or my angst, I really wanted to kind of have this conversation, so to speak, with like an ex-partner, and being like, let's talk about love, because clearly we don't know how to communicate that. And so this song eventually kind of morphed into, I wouldn't say an attack, but almost like an elucidation of what happened in this relationship. And I think that was super important moving forward with the lyrics. It was a stop when you first said to look right at it. It wasn't real, but you pointed and you made it happen. Like, it's literally about being manipulated. If you think that my mind is a joke that you could play with, then no, back up real slow. So it's me taking my power back and just telling them to kind of back off. And And then you can buy me things you can find in loony bins, which could be worth more than any diamond. You don't respect the woman I've been in all this time. You've been sleeping with the dragon. So it's a way for me to be literally like, screw you, man. This is how I'm feeling. You never even communicated me, and you could do anything. And you know, it could be worth so much more. It could be worth so much more than a diamond ring, but yet it doesn't exist. So, yes, thank you. I'm wearing a Britney Spears shirt today too, you know, throwing back that retro vibe. And anyway, so I was basically talking to this individual, and then it's kind of like that angsty little pre-chorus part. It was like, what do you want from me, boy? What do you want from me? Because it's literally like, why were you a part of my life, yo? Why were you a part of my life? This is the way you're gonna treat me. So that's what that part's about. And then eventually in the second pre-chorus we go, I wish you never really came out. You never showed up anyhow. I dated this guy for 2 years. He went to one show. One show. So I needed to put that in the lyrics. Also, he made me feel fucking insane, you guys. I'm not saying a little bit. I'm saying a lot. And as for someone who has bipolar, it's so easy to think that you're in the wrong, that it's my fault. And all of these issues are a culmination of my mental state or my emotional state. But it is so wrong. And I learned that after breaking up with him and after writing this song. And then so what happened is in the second verse, I talk a lot more about that mania and about that like uncontrolled environment that I was put in. So I heard it drop like the mic you think we're listening to. So this lyric is specifically about him DJing. He's a DJ. So it goes, I heard it pop like the mic you think we're listening. I heard it drop like the mic you think we're listening to. Like the pop, your body rocks a disco king fool. So it's getting kind of poetic, but that's talking about him literally DJing and just being like, Anyways. If you think this temple was a toy that you could play with, then no. That's literally referring to a message I don't even want to talk about, but it's when people think that they own something and they can take advantage of it. So I'm telling this guy to fuck off in this lyric here. If you think this temple was a toy that you could play with, then no. Back up real slow. Then this lyric, you used to say save your money for our future kids, but you're sleeping with your coworkers and all their friends. You never respected who I am, and now I've gone through that healing. You're so behind, man. It's literally word for word what happened. Doesn't that suck? You break up with someone and then they kind of go around just like sleeping with people you know. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, so that is what inspired those lyrics, and those lyrics are pretty much word for word. That's just the way it is. And you know what? Instead of me putting a person on blast, like publicly, because I think that's totally rude, I just write songs about it. That's how I cope. Anyways, also, this individual's voice is also in the beginning of the song and comes in later. And the voice, as we all know now, goes, I forget how we started. And I thought that sample was just so fitting, because it's like, how could someone forget all of these things that had happened and then just do what you do? It's insane. Anyways, we get into the bridge, which is just like this. Right? And like just like this pulse drone type thing in the bridge that comes in. And then, wouldn't you know it's what travel around? Those things, they haunt you, a personal cloud. Why didn't you just go get help like I said? Even if you told me never again, wouldn't you know they would figure it out? Crazy how now the tables turn around. Everyone sees through the shit that you did. Now you're in deep, you're in over your head. And that was me literally just reclaiming my power. Just taking back all of this bullshit that this person has just dropped on me. And that's a moment for me to take it back, because what happens is eventually true colors start to show. I don't need to put this person on blast. They can do it themselves, and they do it just fine themselves. And word travels, word spreads, And that is what my music is all about. It is just about speaking the truth and about hoping people can relate. Because look, I'm not the only one who's had this problem. I'm sure hundreds of you, thousands of you have been through really shitty breakups where the person who said and swore to respect you and honor you, they don't. And in that, they even do stuff that's worse. So this song is for you. This song is for the jilted lover. This is for the scorned, for the angsty. And this is just to show that through art, anyone can receive a voice and anyone can give a voice. And all I hope is that this song is requested as he's DJing, right? Because that would be the best Divine Comedy. That's literally the most comedic part of it all. So anyways, yeah, we did that. And when we get into the end, we kind of just stack it all together. We made a really, really heavy synth. Like we used the Juno DS for a lot of stuff. We used Brayson's Bass Novation, which is a beautiful bass synth. Like I think it's the bass station he used. Not too sure. And we just had lots of fun with some 808s and some 909s, putting all of those elements together. And then, of course, working with David Zier here at Echo Plant. I'm here at Echo Plant right now because it's 45 degrees out and it's nice in here. But working with David, we put together this arrangement that was still simple enough, but big enough to kind of juxtapose those negative feelings with this really emotional, melodic, happy sound. And I think for this album, that was my goal. Also talking and talking about all of these really vulnerable and crappy experiences, but ultimately putting them into a musical body that makes people feel good. Because these transitions and these big changes, they should make you feel good. I mean, not immediately down the road. But that's why I went with that musical feeling too. It's resolving. Not only the cadence that resolves in itself, it goes to the minor, it also just feels right for the message of the story. So yeah, that's basically the whole kit and caboodle about Let's Talk About Love. If you have any questions at all, hit me up. I'm going to be doing a post like every single day this week talking about a new song on the album. But Let's Talk definitely was one of my, it came from a dream. It's anthemic. I believe in it. I really enjoyed making this song and putting these songs together. And I think it was very special to do it with a lot of people that I love. But yeah, Let's Talk About Love, super fun song. I see there's like some of you guys there now. If you're around and want to ask questions, you totally can. But yeah, really stoked about it. Feeling pretty good about it. And for those who are listening, like, look, I'm not a jaded, crazy person. I mean, yeah, I'm a little crazy. We're all a little fucking crazy, aren't we? But it was my first time writing a vindictive song. And a part of me kind of felt a little bit weird about it. But then there was another part of me that felt super, super good just to get off my chest. And I think that's just the catharsis from songwriting, right? And it makes you a little bit more honest, and it makes you a little bit more vulnerable. And now that I've been sober for 3 years, I don't know if you guys actually know this, I've been sober for 3 whole years, so I don't drink anymore. So all of this music and all of this, everything you hear, all the lyrics, they come from a place of sobriety. So I am no longer veiling my craft. There's no need for poetry. I'm able to speak about it very clearly now, with a lot of clarity and a lot of precision, because now I'm the one who has to filter all of my words. But it has been such a trip, and the response to the song and the response to the music video has been beautiful. Thank you so much for you guys, for your support. Somehow it is doing really well in Brazil, of all places. So keep sharing, keep liking, keep loving, and thank you so much for constantly being a grounding support unit for me here on Facebook. I really love you guys, and I'm looking forward to talking about the next song, which is tomorrow, which is Uncomfortable. It's just so fun. It's gonna be good. And then also our Love Jug. It's been fun times. You guys have a great day. If you have any questions about Let's Talk About Love, just list them up below in the comments, and I'll get to them when I can get to them. But but I think that covers it. Love you guys.